Oh my god, look at that view, that is so crazy. Oh my god, look at those trees and the cloud. Oh my god, there's even a cloud, there are mountains. These landscapes remind me of Totoro and romanticism. Yep, I'm talking about that romanticism. The one that if searched up it takes you to a Wikipedia page longer than Dante's Inferno. But hey, if you're either a Wikipedia tryhard or a student like me, you probably already know what is romanticism. But let's just recap what it focuses on. Just in case, you know. So back in 1798, Wordsworth and Coleridge published the Lyrical Ballads, where its preface was considered the manifesto of romantic poetry. And in this manifesto, they stated what poetry should really focus on: everyday settings, easy language, emotions, etc, etc, etc. Okay, now that we tackled a bit romanticism, let's talk about Totoro. Totoro is a movie released in 1988 made by Hayao Miyazaki, co-founder of Studio Ghibli. It talks about two young sisters who moved to the countryside with their father to be close to their mother, who's at the hospital. At a certain point of the film, the younger sister Mei comes across Totoro and presents him to Satsuki, the older sister. Like, come on, all of us saw Totoro, right? But wait, there's a problem. How do we connect romanticism and Totoro? I still didn't talk about what is probably the most important feature of romantic poetry, and I think it's something that nowadays we take too much for granted. Nature. Hold up, we're missing something still? First of all, let's analyze the title of the movie. The real title of the film is Tonari no Totoro, which is perfectly translated to My Neighbor Totoro in the English version. Keep in mind this detail because we're going back to it later. Second of all, what the hell is Totoro? It is a bird! No, that has to be a raccoon. What are you saying? That's a cat. That is surely a dog. It has to be a dragon. Is that you, Mr. Rochester? Wrong. Let me explain why. Although its familiar aspect, Totoro is not an animal, but rather a spirit connected to nature. Actually, I would say that he can be compared to the same level of nature itself. And even if not expressed explicitly, we can see that he's so connected to nature that he has the power to make a tree grow out of nothing? So, because of his power, Totoro can be seen not only as a spirit connected to nature, but as the protector of nature itself. This detail reflects how the movie wants to underline the importance of nature. However, to understand Totoro deeper, I think we need to dive in the Japanese culture of kami. Kami are the gods of Shintoism, a religion born in Japan which is still practiced today as well as Buddhism. The particularity of Shintoism is that these gods represent only natural elements. For example, Amaterasu Omikami, or just simply Amaterasu, is the god of the sun, or Susano no Mikoto, or just simply Susano is the god of the storm and the sea. Or, as my professor ChatGPT would say, Kami aren't just gods in the Western sense, they're sacred essence within the natural world. Thanks chat, appreciate it. When we compare Shintoism and Totoro, we can finally understand the Japanese perspective of nature and why Totoro is the way he is. But the only difference between Totoro and the other kami is that on one hand we have incredible gigantic gods painted as if they were as tall as mountains and able to kill the entire population if they wanted. On the other hand, we have this guy. But jokes aside, what is the meaning of all this? What is the role of either romantic poets or Studio Ghibli regarding nature? Why does every human being on this planet represent nature differently? What is nature? 何度でも叫ぶこのくらいよルの海中になってもここに残しておきたいんだよこの秘密を We can finally answer this question by understanding the message that Totoro and Romanticism want to give. Firstly, Romanticism represents how the human projects himself in a world where he is one with nature, addressing also how we humans negatively change our opinion of what was once our home. Totoro, on the other hand, is a totally different way to express love for nature, and from a different culture as well, emphasizing the fact that nature is closer than we think, and even if we don't realize it, nature watches and takes care of us. Now, it's us humans who have to fulfill our duty to respect and protect nature, just as nature did back when we knew nothing of our world. Even in this case, Romanticism and Totoro give us important lessons. Romanticism asks us not to see nature as something that was in the past, but as a feature of our life that still exists and will forever. Whereas Totoro teaches us to see nature not as our tool, not even as our enemy, but just simply as our neighbor. Thank you for watching.